Disabled child surprises farmer by bringing life back after a night at the shelter. Lily's fingers twitched as she rolled slowly through the damp grass at the edge of the village. Her heart pounded like a drum in her chest, sharp and sudden. She had just spent the night at the shelter, her favourite place, where laughter buzzed around her like bees, and for once she didn't feel trapped inside her body. But now, heading home under the blaze of an unfamiliar autumn sun, something strange pulled her forward. The fields stretched wide, golden and endless, but it was the shadowed line of trees that caught her breath. A breeze whispered urgent secrets through the leaves, and Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. She steered her wheelchair off the path without thinking, drawn toward a thin gap in the thicket that most would have missed. Crawling over fallen branches, she found herself in a hidden grove, a pocket of shaded magic, untouched by the fading daylight. Colour exploded, bright blue. Then she noticed the heart of the grove. A patch of plants near a small, cracked pond sagged, leaves drooping like broken wings. The vivid reds and golds dulled to sickly browns. The ground beneath them cracked and split. Something was dying here. Lily's breath caught. Her hands shook. She reached out slowly to touch a delicate flower with pale, curling petals, so fragile it seemed one breath could crush it. Her fingers brushed its edges. For a moment, colour flashed, then faded. The flower twitched, weak but alive. A soft voice slithered behind her on the breeze. Careful. She spun around, heart leaping. A figure stepped from the shadows. A girl about her age, with wild dark hair and eyes that flickered green like leaves in sunlight. Her voice was low, almost a whisper, but sharp like a blade. "This place isn't just a secret garden," she said. "It's alive, but it's dying because no one listens. Your touch, it's not simple kindness. You can bring life back, or bring ruin." Lily stared, breath hitching. Fear bit into her skin, but curiosity burned hotter. Something about this stranger felt like a key she'd been searching for. "Who are you?" Lily asked, voice trembling. "Guardian," the girl replied. "And now, you're part of this too. But be warned, saving the grove won't be easy. Some secrets want to stay buried. And not all magic is kind." Lily's hands trembled as she looked down at the fragile flower pulsing faintly with life. Her chest tightened with a mix of dread and hope. Could she really fix this? Did she even want to? A sudden silence fell, heavy, thick, broken only by the distant caw of a crow and the rustle of dying leaves. The grove waited, and so did Lily. Hey! Before we continue with this incredible story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without notice. Just give that red button down below a quick check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content coming your way. And while you're at it, leave a powerful like that helps me a lot with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. The grove waited, and so did Lily. She felt the weight of the moment settle deep in her chest, like a stone. The air was still, thick with the scent of damp earth and fading flowers. The girl's eyes, sharp and bright, seemed to pierce right through her. "Do you really believe you can help?" the girl challenged, a smirk tugging at her lips. "What if you can't? What if you make it worse?" Lily's heart raced. How could she back down now? This place, this secret world, felt more alive than anything she'd ever touch. But doubt churned inside her. Could she really save the grove? Then, out of nowhere, the tranquility shattered. A low rumble echoed through the trees, vibrating beneath her chair. Lily grabbed the arms of her wheelchair, panic setting in as the ground shook, gravel scattering under the weight of an unseen force. The pond began to bubble, and the surface glimmered ominously. "What's happening?" Lily gasped, fear creeping into her voice. The Guardian's smirk vanished. "It's not just a grove, it's a gateway." Her voice raised to a shout, barely audible over the growing chaos. "Get back!" Suddenly, the air split with a sharp crack, like lightning splitting the sky. A blinding light shot up from the pond, illuminating the grove in a harsh, furious glow. The vibrant colours of the flowers were swallowed in pale whiteness, frozen in a painful moment. Lily shielded her eyes, heart pounding, but she couldn't look away. The pond's surface erupted like a burst balloon, and impossibly a figure emerged, twisting in the light. It was a woman, her form shimmering, almost ghost-like, with long hair flowing like water. "No, no!" Lily's voice cracked, despair pouring through her. "Who are you?" The woman opened her mouth, but the sound was less words and more like a howl, a fierce gust that stirred the grove. Leaves ripped away into wild spirals, and the flowers bent low as if bowing to a ruler. "What? What do you want?" Lily felt small, trapped in this bright storm. "I am what you seek," the woman wailed. "I am the spirit of life and death that binds this place, and you are the one who has awakened me." "But I didn't mean to. I just wanted to help." Tears welled in Lily's eyes, confusion spiraling. "What are you saying?" The woman's gaze sharpened, piercing through the haze of light. "You think you can control nature? You think your kindness can save it? You will unleash chaos instead." Lily's heart dropped into her stomach. Chaos? Wasn't that what she was trying to prevent? The Guardian stepped forward, but the light snapped toward her, ensnaring the girl in shadows thick as fog. "You didn't know, did you?" she hissed, her features twisting into something dark. "You were never here to save the grove. You were brought here to destroy it." Lily stared, every muscle frozen. The surprise hit her like a punch. The girl, the Guardian, had been lying. The trust built in mere seconds shattered. "No!" Lily cried, anger mixing with fear. The truth clawed at her insides. "You used me!" The spirit's voice echoed, filling the grove with a foreboding roar. "Choose, young one. Save yourself or save the grove. But know this, every choice comes with a price." Lily's breath quickened. She glanced at the frail flower, its life hanging by a thread. Could she save them all? Or had she stepped into a trap far deeper than she understood? The light flickered like a dying star, swirling around her. The grove trembled, whispering old tales, desperate for a choice. But amidst the chaos, a single thought lodged in her mind like an arrow. Was she truly the saviour, or the harbinger of doom? The reality spun, and silence fell once more. All eyes, her own, the spirits, and the twisted guardians locked together, uncertainty hanging heavy in the air. The only sound was the distant call of a crow, echoing the weight of decisions not yet made. The darkness crept in, and with it, the haunting questions lingered. What would she choose? And who would pay the price? The grove trembled, whispering old tales, desperate for a choice. But amidst the chaos, a single thought lodged in her mind like an arrow. Was she truly the saviour, or the harbinger of doom? Then suddenly, the very ground beneath her vibrated with urgency. The spirit's glowing form flickered like a flame caught in a draught. The air crackled. Lily! The guardian's voice shot through the chaos, sharp and pleading. You must choose now! But before Lily could think, the light from the pond exploded outward like a fireball, wrapping around her. She gasped, every nerve in her body screaming. It felt like drowning in light. Then, silence. Everything stopped, frozen in a moment that lasted an eternity. The spirit's roar faded to a whisper. The grove, once alive with whispers and shouts, now held its breath. Lily blinked, shocked into stillness. Shadows danced where the light had been, swirling like smoke. The girl stood before her, eyes wide and vulnerable. No longer a smirk, but worry etched deep into her youthful features. Lily, something's wrong, she said, her voice trembling. You weren't supposed to awaken her like this. Awaken who? Lily stammered. Confusion twisted in her chest. She could feel the weight of something terrible in the air. The guardian took a step back, breathless. You're not here to save the grove, because you're part of it. You're the one who binds life and death. Those words felt like a punch. What? Lily's heart raced, fear clawing at her. I don't understand. But the truth was unfolding like a dark blossom in her mind. Images flashed, scenes she never remembered, whispers passed in dreams. She felt connected to everything. The plants, the air, the pond. No, I'm just a girl. The guardian's form began to shimmer, revealing its true self, a spectre of vibrant colours, twisting and merging. All emotions ranging from joy to sorrow, dancing on its surface. You didn't just stumble here. You've carried this within you all along. You can heal the grove or destroy it. No! Panic surged through Lily like a storm. I can't do this! Then you must leave, the guardian pleaded. You must choose the life you want. But just then, the pond erupted again, unleashing a torrent of dark water. The spirit writhed, and chains of shadow pulled tighter, binding her. You will not run from this, it thundered. Lily could hardly breathe as a wave of darkness crashed over her. It was cold and heavy, pressing her to the ground. She looked up, and what she saw took her breath away. Emerging from the shadows, a figure blocked the light. a man tall and formidable, with familiar features. Then she realized it was her father, the very man she thought had disappeared years ago, leaving her in the silence of unanswered questions. "Father?" Lily's voice broke. You're alive? But how?" "Lily, I never left you," he said, his voice echoing painfully like a distant memory. "I was a protector of the Grove. I was forced to hide, and it's time you know the truth." The ground shook as light and dark collided. Lily's mind raced, her heart thrumming wildly as the revelation set in. What had she stumbled into? What price would she pay? The spirit's howl pierced the air again, but this time it was not a warning. It was a call. The groan of ancient trees filled the space, demanding answers and revealing secrets buried deep. "Choose now, Lily," her father urged, urgency lacing his tone. "No turning back from this. The balance hangs in the air." Tears streamed down her face as she faced the impossible. Truth crashed into her, reshaping everything she thought she understood. She felt the weight of destiny on her shoulders, a path forged in shadows ahead. As time hung taut, she realized the hardest choice was yet to come. Who would she become? And what would the cost be in the end? The shadows seemed to whisper, beckoning her deeper, and her heart raced with every heartbeat. The future hung in the balance, waiting for her next move. Lily felt a jolt of uncertainty rush through her body as she stood at the precipice of choice. Her father's familiar face, once just a faded memory, held her gaze. She could see the love in his eyes, but now it was intertwined with something darker. "You're part of this place," he told her, and she could hear the urgency in his voice. "You have power, but it's also a burden." "What does that mean?" Lily stammered, her heart racing faster. "I just wanted to help. What power?" "The spirit of the Grove," her father said, urgency twisting his features. "It's trapped between realms. You awakened it, and now it wants to escape. But there's more you don't see. More than you're meant to understand." Lily's stomach knotted as confusion twisted through her thoughts. What else was hidden? The air grew icy. The darkness pressed around them like fingers curling tightly. The spirit writhed, shadows flickering wildly, waiting for her next breath. "Lily, listen!" the guardian echoed, stepping closer, fear sparking in her eyes. "If you do nothing, everything will collapse. This grove, your world, all of it, you have to decide." A sudden chill swept through the grove. The ground shook beneath them, and the air thickened to a suffocating weight. And just like that, a blinding flash exploded, washing over everything. Lily shielded her eyes, heart pounding like a war drum. Then she heard it, a scream that sent ice through her veins. Not the spirit's, but someone else's. A scream she recognized. "No, please, stop!" The light receded, revealing a horrifying sight. Emerging from the shadows was another figure, struggling against the dark coil. "You're here!" "Lily, you have to choose!" her mother shouted, her voice breaking, full of pain and desperation. "They'll take you too if you don't act!" A wave of rage and betrayal swept through Lily. "What do you mean? Why are you here? You abandoned us!" The shadows roared and the spirit surged, the light flickering and curling like a flame about to die. "It's not her fault!" the Guardian shouted, panic slicing her voice. "She tried to protect you! She's bound by the same curse!" "What curse?" With the ground trembling beneath them, Lily tore her gaze between her mother and the spirit. The truth began to unravel before her, a dark tapestry revealing secrets woven into her life. "What did you do? Why didn't you tell me?" "I couldn't," her mother cried, tears spilling down her cheeks, mixing with the shadows sucking her strength. "It was for your safety, the Grove. It's a trap we designed to keep chaos at bay." Lily's heart raced, nostrils flaring. "A trap?" "Yes, the Grove needs a vessel, a protector. We thought it would keep you safe, but they've come for you. The moment you touched the flower, a deafening rumble surged. The spirit screams transformed into a cacophony of anguish and grief as the ground crumbled beneath them. "No!" Lily shouted, feeling the burdens of past choices crash over her like waves. Should she trust the woman who left her? Should she trust the spirit thrumming with chaotic power? "Make a choice, Lily!" her father urged, desperation etched in every line of his face. And in that swirling chaos, with darkness closing in from all sides, she realized something. If this was truly a trap, then she held the power to alter it. But at what cost? The shadows twisted, looming ever closer, and as the voices collided into a frenzy, Lily understood in that moment her choice was more than life or death. It would rewrite everything she thought she knew. A heavy silence descended, leaving her heart pounding, and as she opened her mouth to speak, the shadows tightened their grip, waiting for the declaration that could shatter the Grove or save them all. Lily felt a jolt of uncertainty. "You're part of this place," he told her, and she could hear the urgency in his voice. "You have power, but it's also a burden." "What does that mean?" Lily stammered, her heart racing faster. "I just wanted to help." "What power?" "The spirit of the Grove," her father said, urgency twisting his features. "It's trapped between realms. You awakened it, and now it wants to escape. But there's more you don't see. More than you're meant to understand." Lily's stomach knotted as confusion twisted through her thoughts. The air grew icy. The darkness pressed around them, like fingers curling tightly. The spirit writhed, shadows flickering wildly, waiting for her next breath. "Lily, listen!" The Guardian echoed, stepping closer, fear sparking in her eyes. "If you do nothing, everything will collapse. This Grove, your world, all of it. You have to decide." A sudden chill swept through the Grove. The pond shimmered, dark waves rolling violently as the spirit strained against its chains. The shadows deepened, and just as panic surged through her, an ear-splitting crack pierced the sky. The ground shook beneath them, and the air thickened to a suffocating weight. And just like that, a blinding flash exploded, washing over everything. Lily shielded her eyes, heart pounding like a war drum. Then she heard it. A scream that sent ice through her veins. Not the spirit's, but someone else's. A scream she recognized. "No, please, stop!" The light receded, revealing a horrifying sight. Emerging from the shadows was another figure, struggling against the dark coils binding them. A woman, twisted in agony. Recognition washed over Lily like cold water. It was her mother, face pale and eyes wide with terror. The sight tore through her heart. "Mom?" The words slipped from her lips like a prayer. "You're here? Lily, you have to choose!" her mother shouted, her voice breaking, full of pain and desperation. "They'll take you too if you don't act!" A wave of rage and betrayal swept through Lily. "What do you mean? Why are you here?" "You abandoned us!" The shadows roared, and the spirit surged, the light flickering and curling like a flame about to die. "It's not her fault!" the Guardian shouted, panic slicing her voice. "She tried to protect you. She's bound by the same curse." "What curse?" Just then, Lily noticed something glinting at the edge of the chaos. A small, delicate crystal hanging from her mother's neck. A light flickered within it, pulsing like a heartbeat. "The crystal. It holds the truth," her mother said, desperation coating her words. "It binds us. I didn't want you to be a part of this. I thought I could protect you." The crystal began to shine brighter, casting eerie shadows all around, changing the atmosphere with every pulse. "What truth?" Lily cried, feeling the ground beneath her tremble. "Tell me!" her mother's voice broke. "We created the grove to keep you safe, to hide you from what lies beyond. But I never meant for you to inherit it. You're not the chosen one to save it. You're the key to its destruction." The revelation landed like a punch. "What? Your power is tied to the spirit. You're destined to become a vessel for it. But the spirit isn't just life. It's chaos. It hungers for freedom." Lily felt her heart race as the truth hit her like a cold wave. "You lied to me! All this time. For what? To hide my fate?" The shadows writhed, closing tighter around her mother. "You've awakened it! It wants you to choose. It wants you to free it, but..." But before she could finish, the ground heaved again. A surge of dark energy shot up, enveloping Lily, her mother, and the Guardian. A final crack split the air, and just like that, her mother's image flickered like a dying flame. "Mom!" Lily screamed as the light consumed her. It felt like losing a piece of her soul. And then everything shifted. The crystal fell, shattering on the ground, sending shards flying. Darkness broke, swirling around them, revealing the figures of the departed. A line of people, souls lost, faces familiar, yet unrecognizable. "They are the ones who came before," the Guardian whispered, eyes wide with horror. "They spoke of a curse, a cycle, and Lily, they were all once protectors too." Suddenly, everything changed. The shadows lost their grip. The spirit stirred, more alive than ever. And in the flickering light, Lily's eyes locked onto her mother's face, now shifting into a face she had never expected to see. The face of the Guardian. "Choose wisely, Lily," echoed her mother's voice, merging with the Guardian's. "You hold the key to everything." Lily's heart thudded. What does that mean? But the shadows began to swirl, consuming the faces. Just when hope felt within reach, she realized the truth she never wanted to accept. The Guardian was always with her, but now she was trapped too. Lily felt the weight of their shared fates. What if she wasn't meant to save the Grove, but to become its next keeper of chaos? With her choice looming, terror gripped her once more. What was she truly? A protector? or the very destruction of everything she loved? As everything began to collapse around her, the grove pulsated with her indecision, and the air crackled, waiting for her answer, as the shadows closed in tighter, turning her world into darkness. The grove pulsed, shadows writhed, and Lily felt the energy wash over her. Heavy and electric, her heart raced as she faced the swirling chaos. Caught between her mother's desperate gaze and the dark spirit's fury, the weight of the moment pressing down on her like an invisible hand. "Choose, Lily," her mother's voice echoed, mixing with the frantic whispers of the Guardian. "You hold the power here, but be careful, it's bigger than you think." Tears lined Lily's eyes, blurring the frantic scene. "What do I even want?" Her voice trembled, uncertainty gripping her heart. "Should I set it free? Should I save you?" Suddenly, the air thickened and a sharp crack echoed. The ground heaved, sending a wave of shadows crashing toward her. The spirit's howl morphed into a roar, skulls of lost souls materializing in the swirling dark. Just as everything hovered on the brink of destruction, the crystal laying shattered on the ground flickered with light. In that blinding moment, Lily felt the energy surge through her veins, a connection snapping into place. She opened her mouth to speak, to make a choice. And Lily! It wasn't her mother's plea, but a voice she hadn't expected. A figure emerged from the shadow, stepping into the light. It was a man, tall and fierce, his features sharp and strikingly familiar. "What, Dad?" Confusion swallowed her words. "But you—" "I've come to warn you," he interrupted, urgency burning in his eyes. "You must not choose." "There's more at stake than you realize." The darkness thickened again, tendrils closing in around them. "What do you mean?" Lily's heart pounded. "Just tell me." "No time!" He thrust his hand out, revealing a small, glowing artifact, a pendant radiating warmth and familiarity. "This binds me to this realm. It's the key to everything." The shadows pulsed violently, and a collective gasp swept through the space. The Guardian recoiled, eyes wide. "That pendant belongs to the first Guardian. How did you get it?" "Your father was never just a father," her mother gasped, shock twisting her features. "He was a Guardian too, but he chose to hide it." Lily's breath hitched, confusion washing over her. "What? You knew?" "Yes!" her mother cried, desperation lacing every syllable. "It's why we needed to protect you. We thought keeping you away from this world would shield you from its darkness." The spirit writhed, shadows swirling faster. The ground shook. And Lily's father stepped closer, his voice firm. "Trust me, there's danger in awakening the spirit. It's your choice, but you don't have to bear this alone. I can help you." Lily's head spun. Everything she thought she knew was crumbling. "But why keep this from me? Why hide your identities?" "I did it to save you," he shouted, anger flaring. "The Grove is a cage for chaos. By awakening the spirit, you unleash powers that could destroy everything we've worked to protect." In that instant, the air shattered, unearthing a blinding light. The spirit ripped free, and the ground trembled. Suddenly the dark connection broke. The Guardian blinked, her colours fading. "No! It's happening faster than I imagined! What's going on?" Lily gasped, heart racing. The shadow surged forward, wrapping around her father with unyielding force. "Dad!" "No," His voice broke as the shadows pulled him into the dark vortex. "You must choose, Lily! You must—" "Choose what?" she cried, tears spilling. "You can't just leave!" But the chaos enveloped him. In a heartbeat, he disappeared, leaving only silence in the throbbing air. The grove shuddered, shadows and light clashing violently. The Guardian locked eyes with Lily, her expression somber. "He's gone, but his choice was to protect you. You have to decide. You can't stand here forever." Lily felt the ground shift beneath her. That warm connection with the pendant burned in her pocket, promising power yet a bond to her father's fate. The air crackled with unfulfilled potential, and the spirit's voice echoed in her mind. But the truth loomed above her like a storm. She was a key. But for what? For whom? With uncertainty constricting her throat, she blinked against the chaos brewing within and without. Who was she really meant to be in this relentless cycle? The shadows swirled, beckoning her deeper into darkness, and Lily's heartbeat throbbed loud in her ears. Every second felt like a decision dancing on the edge. Would she choose to save, or would she doom them all, forever questioning the price of this chaotic magic? Lily felt the air thrum around her, the spirits twisted and tortured, shadows whispering her name as if daring her to choose. "You must decide," echoed the words, heavy with urgency. Heart racing, she stared at the shattering crystal. The darkness loomed closer, suffocating, wrapping around her thoughts. "Stop!" she yelled, her voice cutting through the chaos. "I can't just make a choice without knowing." The Guardian's face twisted in anguish. "You're the only one who can. But if you hesitate..." Suddenly, with a deafening crash, the earth shook violently. The shadows convulsed. The spirit writhed, and then in that moment of despair, everything changed. A blinding light shot through the grove, catching everyone off guard. The air crackled with raw energy, swirling, pushing against them, demanding attention. And then a cold wave of darkness swept in, engulfing Lily before she could react. She gasped, feeling her skin pull tight as reality shifted. Then she blinked, her surroundings morphing into a vast nothingness. "Lily!" A new voice echoed, rich and haunting. She turned, eyes wide, heart racing. It was a tall woman, dressed in flowing robes of shadow and light, her eyes burning like stars. "You must listen!" "What? Who are you?" Lily felt small before her. A chill ran up her spine. "I am the Keeper of Secrets," the woman declared, voice smooth as silk, yet piercing as glass. "What you just witnessed was the truth, and you must know this grove is not what you thought it was." Lily trembled. "What do you mean?" "My mother, my father, your parents," the Keeper's voice cut through with authority. "They weren't protectors. They were the original architects of this chaos, feeding the spirit with their own desires. This place thrives on your pain." "No, that can't be true." Despair clawed at Lily's heart, twisting it. Everything she'd believed shattered at her feet. "They loved me. I loved power." The Keeper shot back, eyes narrowing. "That same power had a price, a sacrifice. You are not the key to saving the grove. You are the vessel they created to harness it. Stunned, the ground beneath Lily shifted, as if reacting to her emotional upheaval. No, they wouldn't do that to me, she protested, shaking her head fiercely. Sorrow painted the keeper's expression. But they did. The spirit you awakened, it was born from their greed. Every tear you shed nourished the very darkness you're trying to escape. Lily's world spun. The truth crashed over her like an avalanche, suffocating. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught her eye. From the shadows, her father stumbled forward, breathless, the intensity of fear in his eyes. Millie! He reached for her, desperation clawing his features. Stay back, she screamed, pain rippling through her. You lied to me! No, I didn't. I tried to protect you, he exclaimed, panic peppering his words. You have to understand. Understand what? That you used me? That my life was a lie? Her voice shook, fury and heartache colliding. I would be your pawn. The shadow stirred, swirling as if alive. The keeper stepped forward, urgency settling into her tone. If you want the truth, embrace the power. But be warned, the moment you do, there's no going back. In the blinding light of the grove, it became crystal clear. The threads of betrayal tangled around her heart as the shadows thickened, swirling ominously. Lily realized what she had to do, but doubt clung tightly to her, twisting her insides like a knife. You must decide, Lily, her father insisted, voice breaking. This is your choice. With the keeper watching, the spirit howling, and her parents caught in their desperate web of lies, Lily felt the crushing weight of every choice bearing down on her. In that moment of tense stillness, a glimmer flickered. What if there was another way? What if the darkness could be rewritten? But with the shadows closing in, the answer loomed heavy and ghostly, leaving her teetering on the edge of fate. In her heart, she questioned everything she thought she knew. Could she become the savior, or would she embrace the chaos that had been her birthright? Time held its breath, waiting for her next move. Lily felt the air thrum around her. The spirits twisted and tortured. Shadows! You must decide! Echoed the words, heavy with urgency. Heart racing, she stared at the shattering crystal, its pieces glinting like stars on the ground. The darkness loomed closer, suffocating, wrapping around her thoughts. Stop! She yelled, her voice cutting through the chaos. I can't just make a choice without knowing! The Guardian's face twisted in anguish. You're the only one who can! But if you hesitate... Suddenly, with a deafening crash, the earth shook violently. The shadows convulsed. The spirit writhed. And then, just as despair threatened to pull her under, everything changed. A blinding light shot through the grove, bright and shocking. It caught everyone off guard, and for a brief moment, Lily felt suspended in time. Just then, a piercing scream shattered the air. It was a voice she recognized all too well. Lily, help me! Mom? The word escaped her lips, a faltering whisper. Her mother! There she was, emerging from the edge of the swirling shadows. Her face pale and desperate. Panic surged through Lily, battling for control. Mom! The relief threatened to drown her as she reached out. But as her heart soared, Horror followed. Her mother's silhouette flickered, shifting and twisting, until it morphed into someone else entirely. "No, it can't be!" Lily gasped. In a heart-stopping moment, the figure before her transformed into the Guardian, the girl who had led her into this chaos. The same wild hair, the same flickering green eyes. Only now they were wide with anguish, contorted into a mask of pain. "Lily, you need to understand," the Guardian cried, her voice a mix of terror and panic. "I was—" But before she could finish, the ground shook harder and the light brightened, consuming everything in its path. As Lily clutched her chest, struggling to breathe, a flood of memories washed over her like an unwelcome tide. Fragments of laughter, whispers of secrets, moments she had thought were lost. Her mother's face shifted again, becoming twisted with anguish. "It was never just about you." "Stop!" Lily shouted, feeling sick. "What does that even mean?" The grove shuddered, shadows pulsing like a heart about to explode. "They were lying to you!" the Guardian yelled, desperation lacing her words. "You think your power can save the grove? You were meant to be sacrificed!" Lily's heart plummeted. Sacrificed for what? The truth struck like lightning. She was part of a plan woven from deceit and chaos. Yet in that moment of revelation, another figure appeared through the bright light. A tall man, stark against the brilliance, his face shrouded in shadow, stepped into view. He raised a hand, and the light flickered, revealing a striking resemblance to her father. "Stay back!" Lily screamed, disbelief washing over her. "Who are you?" "Lily," the figure echoed, a voice low and commanding. "You need to choose before it's too late." Her heart raced with confusion. There was something frighteningly familiar about him, but the very air around them thickened with dread. "You're not my father, are you?" she whispered, each word like a weight pulling her deeper into despair. "No," he replied, his eyes glinting ominously. "I'm something much worse." The shadows twisted violently around them. Lily's breath caught as she realized this wasn't just about her fate. This was about the dark legacy her parents had hidden. They hadn't just created a protector. They had sought to forge a weapon. The Guardian's cry cut through her panic. "Lily, don't let him twist this. Choose the path of life. You have to fight." But could she? As those words replayed in her mind, she felt the tremors of the grove rising to a deafening crescendo. Power surged around her, and in her heart a question loomed larger than before. Who was the real enemy? And who could she trust? With the spirit's howl echoing in her ears, time hung heavy, waiting for her next move. The shadows were closing in, and they all needed a choice. The grove pulsed, shadows writhed, and Lily felt the energy wash over her, heavy and electric. Her heart raced as she faced the swirling chaos, caught between her mother's desperate gaze and the dark spirit's fury, the weight of the moment pressing down on her like an invisible hand. "Choose, Lily," echoed the words, heavy with urgency. Heart racing, she stared at the shattering crystal, its pieces glinting like stars on the ground. The darkness loomed closer, suffocating, wrapping around her thoughts. "Stop!" she yelled, her voice cutting through the chaos. "I can't just make a choice without knowing." The Guardian's face twisted in anguish. "You're the only one who can! But if you hesitate—" Suddenly, with a deafening crash, the earth shook violently. The shadows convulsed, the spirit writhed, and then, in that moment of despair, everything changed. Lily felt it, a deep, rumbling shift beneath her. The ground ripped open like a wound. Dark tendrils shot up, twisting and undulating, pulling her into a deep abyss. Panic surged, filling her chest with a cold dread. "Lily!" her mother shouted, but the voice was fading, as if being swallowed by the earth. "Don't give in!" But what could she do? She was losing everything. In an instant, she was falling down deeper, tumbling through darkness, when suddenly a blinding light enveloped her. It hurt her eyes, blurring everything around her. The world snapped around her like a rubber band stretched too tight. And then she found herself in a different place. A vast chamber opened before her, grander than any she had ever seen. The walls shimmered with colours that pulsed like the heartbeat of the grove. And at the centre stood a figure she never expected to see. "Welcome, Lily!" The voice was rich and smooth, drawing her into its depths. It was her mother. Only she looked different. No longer torn or fragile. Radiant and powerful, as if an ancient energy flowed through her. "Mom?" Lily stammered, her voice barely a whisper. "What happened?" "I've been waiting for this moment," her mother smiled. But it was unsettling. "This is where power is truly born. This is where we uncover the truth." "What truth?" Lily shook her head, confusion clawing at her. "What is happening?" Her mother stepped closer, the air crackling with tension. "You see, dear, the Grove needs a new vessel. Not just any vessel, a powerful one. And you have what it takes." "No!" Lily cried, backing away. "I don't want this. I just wanted to help." But her mother's eyes sparkled with frightening delight. "But you don't understand. We've all been part of this. We're bound to the Grove's fate. Your father and I, we've waited for you to fulfill our purpose." "Your purpose?" Lily's heart raced as dread washed over her. "What do you mean?" A shadow flickered across her mother's face, transforming her expression into something cold. "We've spent years but this is our moment. You are our legacy." Just as Lily felt the ground shift beneath her again, the shadows curled closer, hungry and eager. In utter disbelief, everything she thought she knew collapsed. Her life, her family, all built on a foundation of lies and secrets spun from magic and darkness. "Mom, please, you're scaring me," Lily shouted, gripping her head, tears spilling. Suddenly, a flash of movement caught her eye. The Guardian, once a troubled ally, now emerged from the shadows, her expression twisted into fury. "No, you don't get to choose this fate for her." With a panicked gesture, she shot a pulse of energy at Lily's mother. A violent clash erupted, echoes of power colliding like thunder. The chamber trembled, cracking as if the very universe about to expose its dark core. But in that moment of chaos, a shudder ran through Lily's body. "Mom!" she screamed, feeling the fabric of her explosive revelation begin to fray. "Fight it! Lily!" the Guardian yelled, desperation in her voice. "You need to decide. They're using you!" Light and shadows collided around them, filling the air with an electric tension. But just when it seemed all was lost, a piercing scream shattered the chamber. As the light flickered, a figure stumbled into view. A man, tall and angular. He looked like a ghost. And as recognition dawned, horror flooded through Lily. It was her father, not the protector she imagined, but the architect of their downfall. "Stop this!" he roared, his voice cracking like thunder. All three figures froze. Truth washed over them yet again. "Dad?" Lily whispered, stunned. "You've been part of this too?" "Yes, Lily, I." But he didn't finish. A dark force erupted between them. The Guardian lunged forward, intent on breaking the cycle, but the dark spirals of chaos twisted tighter around her. Lily felt the stakes rise. The air drawn taut. Suddenly, all their bonds shifted, morphing like quicksand beneath her feet, and as the walls cracked wider, a terrible truth shattered her heart. The ground trembled, reality warping, voices overlapping in confusion. Roots surged forward, and she felt her power sparking within her. "No, don't take me!" But it was too late. As she felt the rush of chaos surge toward her, she realized the ugly truth. The rage in her father's eyes, the determination in her mother's expression. They thought they could control her, but she was not a pawn. Not anymore. With a final push, everything exploded outward. Light, darkness, and the fissures of her own destiny collided. In that moment of unfathomable chaos, Lily understood. She wasn't meant to be a vessel. She held a deeper power, one that could unravel their lies and reshape her fate. But as reality spun away, all she felt was uncertainty, mingled with an electrifying hope. What would happen when the dust settled? Who would truly emerge from the shadows? Lily stood at the edge of chaos, the once vibrant grove now swallowed by darkness. The air crackled with tension as the truth hung heavy. She felt the weight of her family's secrets pressing against her chest. Fear and anger intertwined, a storm brewing inside her. "I won't be your pawn!" she screamed, her voice slicing through the chaos. The shadowed figure of her mother loomed closer, her face twisted into a mask of desperation. "You don't understand, Lily. We need you to complete the cycle." "No!" she yelled, stepping back, panic gripping her throat. "I'm not a part of this. You've lied to me." With that declaration, tendrils of darkness lashed out, seeking to ensnare her. But she stood firm, heart pounding, determination replacing the uncertainty that once engulfed her. A rush of adrenaline surged through her veins. The truth had ignited a fire within. "I choose to break this cycle." Light exploded from within her. It surged outward, illuminating the grove as the shadows recoiled, screeching in protest. The Guardian, once a mere ally, now glowed with a radiant light, her eyes filled with awe. "You're not just a vessel, Lily. You're the heartbeat of this grove." Lily reached deep within herself, pulling forth the magic that intertwined with her very being. The light enveloped the remaining darkness, crackling and sparking, merging like two elements colliding. "This ends now!" she shouted, her voice ringing with newfound clarity. With a flick of her wrist, she unleashed a wave of energy that shattered the dark remnants, scattering them like autumn leaves caught in a fierce wind. The air buzzed as the grove trembled, trees swaying with a grateful sigh. Colour exploded back into life. Flowers thrived once more, vibrant and full of potential. Yet, amidst the transformation, Lily looked back at her parents. Her mother's face was still etched with anguish. "Lily," she whispered, voice trembling, "we never meant for it to come to this." "Then you should have told me," Lily shot back, her chest tightening. "You robbed me of my choice." "But look what you've done," her father interjected, stepping forward, hope finally flickering in his eyes. "You freed it, not just the grove, but us. The curse is broken!" A surge of warmth enveloped them, and Lily felt the shadows retreating, no longer holding dominion over her existence. With a tremor of hope, she whispered, "Can we still be a family?" As the light swirled around them, her parents reached out. In that moment, contradictions faded. A forgiveness began to bloom. But the guardian shook her head, as if sensing an end was near. "You must hold on to this power, Lily. The world will need you." Lily nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. "Then let it begin with truth. No more secrets." As the grove embraced its new reality, Lily let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. The echoes of past choices hung in the air, but she felt hope intertwining with every beat of her heart. The cycle of chaos had shattered, revealing a path filled with possibilities. But as the shadows surrendered, a distant howl echoed from the depths of the grove, revealing a challenge that whispered in the wind. An uncertainty lingered in the weight of the air, reminding her that though darkness had been overcome, it would always seek a way back. With the grove pulsing with new life around her, Lily stepped forward, eyes shimmering with determination. "I'm ready for whatever comes next. I will protect this place." And as the last remnants of darkness fell away, Lily knew that this was just the beginning. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues across the now vibrant land, she felt hope spark within her. She wouldn't just be the keeper of the grove. She would be its champion. But before her journey unfolded, dear readers, this is the moment for you to take action. I need you to hit that red subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on all the exclusive stories coming your way. Smash that like button to feed the algorithm. Flada!